delighted to be here. Thank you for letting me go first, because I do poetry actually in Oakland. That's a class that I teach poetry and song and music. And so I have to leave. And so I'm going to miss so many of your poems. But this one that I am going to say now, Clepsydra, actually was inspired by a book called A Paragon. Have you heard of it? A Paragon by Colin McCann. He writes about Israel and Palestine quite astutely. I think it's a book I would recommend. But this is okay. Clepsydra, name of ancient water clocks, Greek words meaning stealing and water. Privatization of water is not new. Water treated like a commodity. Palestinians are charged today 4 times as much as settlers on their land, their homes, their farms, charged 4 times as much as encroaching settlers for water from their own Palestinian country. If we could charge people for air, someone would do so. Putting water in the desert for immigrants to find in their march to freedom so they do not die in the hot desert is treated as a crime. Humanity has not yet learned that to thrive is to love, not to strangle, in an attempt to conquer another, to conquer with fear and greed by stealing nature's gifts to everyone, nature's gifts to her planet, to conquer with theft by stealing that which belongs to everyone is to lose the great battle to be human. And my next poem is called 8 Babies. A large tombstone rests behind the graves of Melander-Magoon, meaning the middle grave where my ancestors lie. A large tombstone raises high with the names of 8 babies who died of measles and famine in Sweden many years ago. My baby aunts and uncles dying with countless others of a disease which would be conquered too late to save the babies who fill my dreams, playing violin and flute, as do the children who came later, surviving famine and measles, to remember their antecedents with music. And I'll end with seeking poetry. We seek poetry, and yet poetry defines us all, hides in our roads, our foundations, our chimneys, hides in our alleyways, our streams and rivers, our shores and oceans, the mud under our shoes, hair and lint clinging to our clothes. Poetry hides in braids, hides in dishes and wishes, thoughts and dreams. Poetry hides in yesterdays, hides in tomorrows, hides in our trauma, our despair and our hopes. Poetry lies deeply in echoes of our hearts and minds. Poetry runs through the raindrops, washing our poetic world, reflecting through windows covered with sparkling drops, shining jewels of poetry. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.